Hi everyone, welcome back to i-TUTOR IAS Academy Tamilnadu History NCERT series. So today here we discuss chapter 19, that is Vijayanagar and Bahmani Kingdom. Okay, why it's important? The Vijayanagara Empire time period is 1336, okay, to 1646 around, and the Bahmani Sultanate, the time period is 1347 to 1527 is the time period around. Okay, were two of the most significant medieval powers in South India, emerging after the decline of Delhi Sultanate's authority in the Deccan. So we already discussed about Delhi Sultanate in last chapters. Please refer that video. Their historical importance lies in their roles as centers of political stability, cultural synthesis, and regional economic power. Okay, so political stability, cultural synthesis, and regional economic power. These are the historical importance of this MBS. So here we will discuss further. First of all, we will discuss about Vijayanagar Empire. So what are the sources of Vijayanagar Empire? The history of Vijayanagar Empire constitute an important chapter in the history of India. Right. So four dynasties, that is Sangama, Saluva, Tuluva, and Aravitu, ruled Vijayanagar from AD 1336 to 1672. The source for the study of Vijayanagar are varied, such as literary sources, archaeological, and numismatic sources. And Krishna Devaraya's Amukta Malyada and Ganga Devi's Madura Vijayam and Alasani Pedanna's Manucharitam are some of the indigenous literature of this period. Okay, so take care of the spelling, little bit Tamil touch is there. And many foreign travelers visited the Vijayanagar Empire, and their accounts are also valuable. The Moroccan traveler Ibn Battuta, and Venetian traveler Niccolo di Conti, and Persian traveler Abdul Razak, and Portuguese traveler Domingo Pires were among them, who left valuable account on the socio-economic condition of the Vijayanagar Empire. Okay, and the copper plate inscription, such as the Srirangam copper plates of Devaraya II, provide the genealogy and achievements of Vijayanagar rulers. And the Hampi ruins, all of you know Hampi in Karnataka, ruins and other monuments of Vijayanagar provide information on the cultural contribution of the Vijayanagara rulers. And the numerous coins issued by the Vijayanagar ruler contain figures and legends explaining their little and achievements. Okay, so these are the sources of Vijayanagar Empire. So here is one picture of Ibn Battuta. Ibn Battuta is a Moroccan traveler. Okay, and the next is political history of Vijayanagara Empire. Vijayanagar was founded in 1336 by Harihara and Bukka of the Sangama dynasty. Okay, so it's from Sangama dynasty. They were originally served under the Kakatiya ruler of Warangal. Then they went to Kampli, where they were imprisoned and converted to Islam. And later they returned to the Hindu fold at the initiative of the saint Vaidyaratna. And they also proclaimed their independence and founded a new city on the south bank of Tungabhadra river. It was called Vijayanagar, meaning city of victory. So that is the meaning of Vijayanagar. And decline of the Hoysala kingdom enabled Harihara and Bukka to expand their newly founded kingdom. Okay, and by 1346 they brought the whole of the Hoysala kingdom under their control. So the struggle between Vijayanagar and Sultanate of Madurai lasted for about 4 decades. And Kumara Kampana's expedition to Madurai was described in the Madura Vijayam, solitary sources, and he destroyed the Madurai Sultans, and as a result the Vijayanagar Empire comprised the whole of South India up to Rameshwaram. And the conflict between Vijayanagar Empire and the Bahmani kingdom lasted for many years, and dispute over Raichur Doab, the region between the river Krishna and Tungabhadra. Okay, you can note down in your map study. Okay, Raichur Doab, and also over the fertile area of Krishna Godavari Delta led to this long drawn conflict. The greatest ruler of the Sangama dynasty was Devaraya II, but he could not win any clear victory over the Bahmani sultans. After his death, Sangama dynasty became weak, and the next dynasty, Saluva dynasty, founded by Saluva Narasimha, reigned only for brief period, that is around 1486 to 1509. Okay, so please take care of this time period. Okay, then it will more easy for you. And Krishna Deva Raya. So this is a picture of Krishna Deva Raya. The time period of Krishna Deva Raya was around 1509 to 1530, and the Tuluva dynasty was founded by Veera Narasimha, the greatest of the Vijayanagar ruler. Krishna Deva Raya belonged to the Tuluva dynasty. Okay, he is from Tuluva dynasty. He possessed great military ability. His imposing personality was accompanied by high intellectual quality. His first task was to check the invading Bahmani forces. And by that time, the Bahmani kingdom was replaced by Deccan sultanates. And the Muslim armies were decisively defeated in the Battle of Divani by Krishna Deva Raya. Then he invaded Raichur Doab, which had resulted in the confrontation with the Sultan of Bijapur, Ismail Adil Shah. But Krishna Deva Raya defeated him and captured the city of Raichur in 1520. From there, he marched on Bidar and captured it. Krishna Deva Raya's Orissa campaign was also successful, and he defeated the Gajapati ruler Pratapa Rudra and conquered the whole of Telangana. He maintained friendly relation with the Portuguese, and Albuquerque sent his ambassadors to Krishnadeva Raya. Though a Vaishnavite, he respect all religions. Krishnadeva Raya respect all religions, and he was a great patron of literature and art, and he was known as Andhra Bhoja. Eight eminent scholars known as Ashtadigajas were at his royal court. And Alasani Pedanna was the greatest, and he was called Andraka Vita Pitamaga. Okay, so you may please take care of the spelling. And his important work include Manucharitam and Harikasta Saram. Okay, Harihastara Saram. And Pingali Zuranna and Tenali Ramakrishna were other important scholars. And Krishna Deva Raya himself authored a Telugu work, that is Amukta Malyada. Amukta Malyada, it's Telugu work, and the Sanskrit work, that is Jambavati Kalyanam and Usha Parinayam. Okay, these two are Sanskrit works. He repaired most of the temples of South India, and he also built the famous Vittala Swami and Azara Ramaswamy temple at Vijayanagar. And he also built a new city called Nagalapuram in memory of his queen Nagala Devi. Besides, he built a large number of Rayagopurams. Okay, and after his death, Achyuta Deva and Venkatar succeed the throne. During the reign of Raya, the combined force of Bijapur, Ahmadnagar, Golconda, and Bidar defeated him at the Battle of Talikota in 1565. The Talikota battle is a little bit important. This battle is known as Rakshasasa Tangadi. Okay, Rakshasasa Tangadi. Ramaraya was imprisoned and executed. The city of Vijayanagar was destroyed. This battle was generally considered to mark the end of Vijayanagar Empire, Talkota. And however, the Vijayanagar kingdom existed under the Aravidu dynasty for about another century. And Tirumala, Sriranga, and Venkata too were the important rulers of this dynasty. And the last ruler of Vijayanagar kingdom was Sri Ranga III. And what about the administration in this time? The administration under the Vijayanagar Empire was well organized. The king enjoyed absolute authority in executive, judicial, and legislative matters, and he was the highest court of appeal. And the succession to the throne was on the principle of hereditary. Sometimes aspiration to the throne took place as Saluva Narasimha came to power by ending the Sangama dynasty. The king was assisted by a council of ministers in his day-to-day administration, and the empire was divided into different administrative units called mandalams. and nadus and stalas, and finally into gramas. So these are the division of administrative units. The governor of Mandalam was called Mandaleshwara or Nayak, and Vijayanagar rulers gave full powers to the local authority in the administration. And besides land revenue, tributes and gift from vassals and feudal chiefs, customs collected at the port, taxes on various professions were other sources of income to the government. And the land revenue was fixed generally one-sixth of the procedure. The expenditure of the government includes personal expenses of king and the charities given by him and military expenditure. And in the matter of justice, harsh punishments such as mutilation and throwing to elephant were followed. And the Vijayanagar army was well organized and efficient. It consisted of the cavalry, infantry, artillery, and elephants. Hybrid horses were procured from foreign traders, and the top grade of officers of the army were known as Nayaks or Poligas, and they were granted land in lieu of their service. And these lands were called Amaram, and soldiers were usually paid in cash. Okay. And social life of Vijayanagara is Allasani Pedanna in his Manucharitam refers to the existence of four castes, that is Brahmin, Kshatriya, Vaishya and Shudra in the Vijayanagar society, and foreign travelers left a vivid account on the splendors of buildings and luxurious social life of city of Vijayanagar. And silk and cotton cloths were mainly used for dresses, and perfumes, flowers and ornaments were used by the people. And peace pensions of the beautiful houses of the rich and the large number of their household servants. And Niccolo Conti refers to the prevalence of slavery, and dancing, music, wrestling, gambling, and cockfighting were some of the amusements. So the Sangama ruler were chiefly Shaivites, okay, and Virupaksha was their family deity, and but other dynasties were Vaishnavites, okay, and the Sri Vaishnavism of Ramanuja was very popular, but all kings were tolerant towards other religions, and Barbosa referred to the religious freedom enjoyed by everyone, and Muslims were employed in the administration, and they were freely allowed to build mosques and worship. A large number of temples were built during this period, and numerous festivals were celebrated. So, epic and the Purana were popular among this masses. So, this is a social life. This was a very liberal social life, but the position of women had not improved. Okay, so however, some of them were learned, and Ganga Devi, wife of Kumara Kampana, author of the famous work Madura Vijaya. Okay, and Hannamma and the Tirumulamma were famous poet of this period. According to Nunis, a large number of women were employed in royal palaces as dancers, domestic servants, and palanquin bearers. And the attachment of dancing girl to temples was in practice. And Pierce refers to the flourishing Devadasi system, and polygamy was prevalent among the royal families. Sati was honored, and Nunis give a description of it. Okay, so this is the social condition. And what about the economic condition? The economic condition, according to accounts of foreign travelers, the Vijayanagar Empire was one of the wealthiest part of the world at that time, and agriculture continued to be the chief occupation of the people. Okay, base was agriculture, and the Vijayanagar rule provided stimulus to its further growth by providing irrigation facilities, and new tanks were built and dams were constructed across the river like Tungabhadra, and Nunis refers to the excavation of canals. And there were numerous industries, and they were organized into guilds. Metal workers and other craftsmen flourished during this period, and diamond mines were located in Kurnool and Anantapur district. And Vijayanagar was also a great center of trade. The chief gold coin was the Varaha, but weights and measures varied from place to place. And inland, coastal, and overseas trade led to the general prosperity. There were a number of seaports on the Malabar coast, and the chief being Cananore. And commercial contact with Arabia, Persia, South Africa, and Portugal on the west, and with Burma, Malay Peninsula, and China on the east flourished. The chief items of export were cotton and silk cloths, spices, rice, iron, salt, pepper, and sugar. The imports consisted of horses, pearls, copper, coral, mercury, China silk, and velvet cloths. The art of shipping had also developed in that time. Okay, so cultural contribution and the temple building activity further gained momentum during the Vijayanagar ruler. And the chief characteristics of the Vijayanagara architecture was the construction of tall Raya Gopuram or gateway. So this is an example. Here is one picture. Eastern Gopuram of Varadaraja Perumal temple. Okay, so this is that example of Gopuram and the Kalyana Mandapam with the curved pillars in the temple premises. The sculptures on the pillars were curved with the distinctive features, and the horse was the most common animal found in these pillars. And large mandapams contain 100 pillars as well as 1000 pillars in some big temples. These mandapams were used for sitting the deity on the festival occasions. Also, many Amman shrines were added to the already existing temples during this period. And this is the elephant chariot of Hampi ruins. The most important temple of the Vijayanagara style were found in Hampi ruins, that's in Karnataka, the city of Vijayanagar. And Vitala Swami and Hazara Ramaswamy temple were the best examples of this style. And the Vardaraja and Egambara Natha temple at Kanchipuram stands as examples for the magnificence of the Vijayanagara style of Vijayanagara style of temple architecture. And the Raya Gopurams at Tiruvannamalai and Chidambaram speaks of the glorious epoch of Vijayanagar. They were continued by the Nayak rulers in the later period. The metal image of Krishna Devaraya and his queens at Tirupati are examples of for casting of metal images. Music and dancing were also patronized by the rulers of Vijayanagar. And different languages such as Sanskrit, Telugu, Kannada, and Tamil flourished in the regions. And there was a great development in Sanskrit and Telugu literature. The peak of literary achievements was reached during the reign of Krishnadeva Raya, and he himself was a scholar in Sanskrit and Telugu. And his famous court poet Allasani Pedanna was distinguished in Telugu literature. Thus, the cultural contributions of the Vijayanagar ruler were many sided and remarkable. And this is all about Vijayanagara Empire, their cultural contributions and economic life, social life, we already discussed. And next is Bahmani Kingdom. The founder of Bahmani Kingdom was Alauddin Bahman Shah, also known as Hasan Gangu, in 1347. Its capital was Gulbarga. There were a total of 14 sultans ruling over this kingdom. Among them, the Alauddin Bahman Shah and shifted the capital from Gulbarga to Bidar. And the Alauddin Bahman Shah, Muhammad Shah I, and Firoz Shah are the important kings of that time. And Ahmad Wali Shah shifted the capital from Gulbarga to Bidar. Okay, so it's clear. The power of the Bahmani kingdom reached its peak under the ruler of the Muhammad Shah III, and it extended from the Arabian Sea to the Bay of Bengal. And on the west, it extended from the Goa to Bombay. And on the east, it extended extended from Kakinada to the mouth of the river Krishna. And the success of Muhammad Shah was due to the advice and service of his minister Mahmud Gawan. And so let's see about Mahmud Gawan. Bahmani kingdoms reached its peak under the guidance of Mahmud Gawan. He was a Persian merchant. Okay, he came to India at the age of 42 and joined the services of Bahmani kingdom, and slowly he became the chief minister due to his personal qualities. He remained loyal to the kingdom, and he lived a simple life and was magnanimous, and he was also a learned person. He possessed a great knowledge of mathematics. Okay. He made endowments to build a college at Bidar, which was built in the Persian style of architecture. Okay. and he was also a military genius, and he waged successful wars against Vijayanagar, Orissa, and the sea pirates on the Arabian Sea. His conquests include Konkan, Goa, and the Krishna Godavari Delta. Thus, he expanded the Bahmani Empire through his conquest. And his administrative reform were also important. They were aimed to increase the control of Sultan over the nobles and provinces. And royal officers were appointed in each provinces for this purpose. And most of the fort were under control of these officers. And allowance were reduced to the nobles who stringed to their responsibility. And this was disliked by the nobles. So the Deccani nobles organized a plot against Gawan. They include the Sultan to punish him with the death sentence. After the execution of Gawan, the Bahmani kingdom began to decline, and Muhammad Shah was succeeded by weak Sultan. Ruin of Golconda Fort. During this period, the provincial governors declared their independence. So this is the ruins of Golconda Fort. Okay, and by the year 1526, the Bahmani kingdom had disintegrated into five independent sultanates. They were Ahmednagar, Bijapur, Berar, Golconda, and Bidar, and known as Deccan Sultanates. Okay, so that's the history of Bahmani kingdom, and this is about this chapter. Okay, so far we discussed about literary and other sources for the study of Vijayanagara Emperor sources, and four dynasties of Vijayanagara and Krishnadevaraya's accomplishment, administrative system and social life under the Vijayanagara Empire, and economic condition under the Vijayanagar Empire, literature, art, and architecture of Vijayanagar Empire, and Bahmani Kingdom and Mahmud Gawan's achievements. We discuss, and so this is about this chapter. So today we end here, and for more content, do like, share, and subscribe our channel. Thank you so much.